Hello, my name is Eyob Derillo, and I am a reference specialist in the Asia and African Studies department at the British Library. I am also a PhD student, currently focusing on the historical and nature of the concept of Ethiopian magic. In the following presentation, I will give an introduction to Ethiopian magic by highlighting the Ethiopian amulet scrolls, magic and divination manuscripts digitized as part of the Endangered Archives Programme. Amulet scrolls and magical recipe books are a striking and very distinctive form of Ethiopian material culture, yet they remain relatively poorly understood and understudied topic. Amulets, written on leather or metal, have been worn by Ethiopians and other people of North Africa for thousands of years. This practice still remains strongest in the northern highlands of Ethiopia, where amulets are believed to bring health, to protect babies, or to ward off the evil eye. The parchment scrolls themselves are known as kitab, and they vary considerably in length. They are kept in a leather case or a silver case, metal case, sometimes. All scrolls are created to protect its owners from harm. They contain prayers for undoing spells, after which a talismanic drawing is usually added, giving effects to its power. These drawings have a specific purpose. They are intended to cure the sick, to exorcise demons, or just to protect its owners. While most of the magic texts are written in Ge'ez, classic Ethiopic, some of the magic, medicine, and divination charms that you will see in this presentation also have annotation or marginalia and sometimes notes in Amharic, which is the national language of Ethiopia. Thus, part of their historical significance, personally for me, lie in their importance as they illustrate the history and the development of magic medicine in general. Strongly associated or linked with the production of scrolls, divination, talismanic art, medicine, as well as astrology, are the practitioners, the scribe known as Daptara. The Daptaras are sometimes ordained and unordained cleric who have studied at a high level, equivalent to a PhD, even further, poetry, mathematics, history, law, philosophy, grammar, as well as the art of writing. They sometimes do take part in important religious performance as part of the church service. The Daptaras, before making the scrolls, will usually interview the sick person in several stages before making a diagnosis and prescribing the type of amulet suitable for the ailment or for the requirement of the client. Now, the production of scrolls and other forms of magic in Ethiopia are not just restricted to the Daptaras, but the Daptaras are strongly associated with this kind of practice because of their knowledge of Ge'ez as well as their knowledge of writing and scribal work. Motifs or illustrations found on amulet scrolls could be divided into the following groups. First is the representational drawing. These drawings can sometimes feature a known angel such as Saint Michael, Saint Gabriel, and other archangels. But the most common motifs are illustration of the guardian angel. And what you see here is an illustration of a guardian angel, which is wielding a sword on his right hand. This is to show that he's fighting or warding off demons. And the second common motifs also found on handbooks and other magical texts are secret signs or known as characters. Now this could be, according to the practitioners, could be read along the script which accompanies it. And the third important motifs are illustrations of the cherub. And now these pictures are sometimes really difficult to interpret because it's believed that the illustration also sometimes features angels or even a demon. This painting is often interpreted as the image of the cherub, as what you see. And according to the tradition, there are angels who have many eyes and many faces. According to these esoteric books, as the mystery of heaven and earth, angels have 8 wings. With 2 wings, they cover their face. With 2 other, they cover their feet. With 2 more, they hide their hands. And with 2 more, they hide their middle parts of their body. Now, in this illustration, one could describe this image as a cherub. But again, that depends on the interpretation of the scribe or the Daptara in this case. Now, the fourth common motifs, and possibly one of the most difficult to understand, are illustrations of figures sometimes described as a demon. It is a true talisman in a sense that it's accompanied with abstract motifs. This type of talisman date back to the middle or the half of the early 19th century. To certain scroll makers, this type of images unquestionably represents the evil spirit. Other common motifs found on scrolls are also illustrations of biblical figures and saints. For example, in the first illustration, we see a depiction of Saint Susunios, whose prayer is associated with protecting pregnant women. And the second illustration, perhaps not that commonly found, is an illustration of King Solomon. Now, King Solomon's wisdom is also famous in Ethiopia than it is in the Middle East. And the third illustration here, again, could be categorized as an abstract motif, is an illustration of a demon in a form or in the process of shape shifting, i.e. changing his form. Some of the excellent examples in the EAP collection are what scholars have labeled handbooks of practitioners. These handbooks are essentially personal notebooks used by the practitioners, the Daptaras, to produce amulet scrolls and also to keep notes of medicines, plants, and as well as talisman. And it is also directly used to make talismans as well as seals and scrolls. Among the EAP collection, one of the most important examples of divination manuscript is the Audanegist. The Audanegist, or the Cycle of King as is known in English, is a treatise composed before the 15th century. The basis of the fortune telling is a 16-section schemes named after lakes or rivers that are in Ethiopia. Illustrated here is the beginning page of the Audanegist, which shows the system that will be used, which is a numerology system combined with some aspect of astrology. In the 15th century, King Zara Yacob issued an edict against all form of magical practices, and as a result, most of the magic scrolls and manuscripts relating to magic that we have are generally dated after the 16th and 15th century. In his book, The Book of Light, Maz'af Abraham, which is a theological treatise, he explains his main reasons why he wanted to vanquish magic, and he explains it as books that had names that were not the names of God, but the names of demons who had helped the owner who invoked them. And he asserts that he actually personally destroyed one of the most important magical books that were housed in the palace